I'm awake now. I've just had a second cup of coffee. Um, and I just wanted to clarify a little more on the video I put up. Um, Number one, I'm not really involved, and I don't mean to stick my nose in, but I did hear my name mentioned, so I guess there's some sort of peripheral involvement. And maybe at the end of this, there might even be a part 3. It'll be a little more clear. And I'm all over the place. I actually had to write down notes, little cliff notes for myself, so I cover what I want to say. Okay, well, I'm going to start off a little bit with making it about me and why I'm doing this. I recently celebrated a birthday, and in the past year, a very sweet woman that I went to high school with, beautiful and sweet, who did not have an easy life, died of cancer. And that was real difficult just to know about. I went to visit my old home and found out a neighbor that I was good friends with, that after I moved, I still stayed in touch with her, was recently diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. Then, on top of all of that, I found out another neighbor who was a sweet, kind, gentle soul was murdered, and it's still unsolved. I knew this person from church. They were a friend of the family, always sent a beautiful Christmas card every year, blah, blah, blah. So, okay. All right, I'm trying to get myself together here. I'm also going to backtrack a little, and I'm sorry if I'm all over the place. We recently went through a period in history that really, we only went through this about 100 years ago with the, I think I'm allowed to say Spanish flu. And then this time we had another virus that shut things down for basically 3 years. And people were much more isolated. The nuclear family really has broken down, so a lot of people were more isolated than maybe during the time of the Spanish flu. And, when I came back to visit the old neighborhood, I was saying hello to a lot of the neighbors that were left, and a lot of them seemed really odd. I have another neighbor who's a very quiet, gentle person, never gossips, never says a mean word about anybody. And I had asked that person, I said, did something go on? Like, what happened? Why are people acting so odd? And this kind person, who never has a bad word to say about anyone, said, the virus, only they didn't use the word virus, they used a real word for it. They said, think of it. Whatever your problem was before, it just got amplified. And the person across the street from you was miserable before. Now they're even more miserable. And the person down the block was, and they used the word crazy. They're not really crazy, but like very volatile. Now they're more crazy, okay? And I thought about it, and that person was right. We all have, to some level, been mentally stressed from what's gone down. Among other things with this country. I don't want to get political. I said before that it is natural and normal and healthy for people to want to love someone and be loved in return. I mean, even animals in the animal kingdom, I like to watch these animal videos on YouTube. You see like the mother cat or the mother dog with the puppies and the kittens and how loving they are. And a lot of times the male partner that is the father of the puppies or kittens is around too, licking them and being affectionate. It's normal and it's healthy to want to love and be loved. Not everybody, is as loving as others, but it is I think like an inborn instinct. Okay. Now, all right. I'm going to move on to, You see, I don't even have my thoughts collected. Okay, so I'm just stating, like, little different facts about things. So, I heard my name mentioned, and I got a peculiar message, or what I perceived as a peculiar message, a couple of months ago from someone I didn't know, and I really didn't. So, I looked where I normally don't look to see what was going on. And I'm going to try to make this vague, and I'm not judging, or I'm not, because I'm an outsider looking in, so maybe I can be a little more objective. I don't know. Let's just say there were two people. One was, I'll call them the giver of love. And the giver of love, I won't say, who they are, but just a hint in case you know. I believe they live in a warm climate. Then there was the receiver of love. And let's just say the receiver of love uses a cartoon character as their avatar. Now, I really don't know the receiver of love, but the little bit that I've heard, that person is very lovable. Who wouldn't love them? They sound very caring, compassionate. They like to talk. They're an interesting person. They seem like they have family and or children. And just a very well-respected, well-liked person. So naturally, this person is going to have loving people gravitate to them. And there's no shame in that. There's no shame in you being such a loving, centered person that most of the people that come around you like you or love you. Okay. Now, I'm going to go slightly off topic to make a point about a story that is connected to the giver and receiver of love. Years ago, I saw a movie on TV, and it was about an abducted child. And so the child was abducted, and they had and it's based on a true story, I believe. They had all kinds of, police and law enforcement trying to find out what happened to the kid. And so they were getting tips. They had a hotline with all these tips, and they would follow up on just about every tip. And one of the people that was giving them a tip had a chemical imbalance. So they immediately dismissed this person because they had a chemical imbalance. All right? Well, the gist of the story is, at the end of the movie, they went back and they talked to everyone that had a lead, and they talked to the person with the chemical imbalance. And this time, the person with the chemical imbalance said it again, but there was something about, maybe they gave more information, where now the police weren't dismissive and looked at what they said a little bit more seriously, and that's how they found the missing child. Just because someone has a chemical imbalance does not mean they're lying or that it didn't happen or whatever. They just happen to be a person with a chemical imbalance. What causes chemical imbalances? It could be something you're born with. It could be hormonal. It could be, you've had trauma in your life. If you were a vet from Vietnam, allergies, diet, PMS, menopause, you name it, okay? And certain situations alter the balance of serotonin and dopamine in the brain. And believe it or not, one of them is falling in love and being heartbroken. So you can Google it if you don't believe me. And believe it or not, chocolate has something in it that also alters the serotonin and dopamine, which is why when a lot of people have a broken relationship or heartbroken, they turn to candy and chocolate because it's like a medication. It's self-medicating. And it then again changes the brain chemistry. And part of why we give chocolate on Valentine's Day, believe it or not. stems from that. And I think the more passionate you feel, or the more deeper love or passion, the more that serotonin and dopamine is going to, fluctuate. And if you have a chemical imbalance, or you're going through menopause, or you've got serious PMS, allergies, whatever, and then you have that heartbreak or that love or whatever, it's going to affect you more deeply. Okay. So, I'm trying to read my notes. I'm having a hard time reading my own handwriting. Um, so, okay. Somebody says that they felt that, and I'm wording this very vaguely because I don't want to start anything. They perceived that somebody came into their near where they lived, and maybe it didn't happen, but they perceived that it did. Or maybe it really did happen. But people are not believing that person because of, like the person in the movie. That was why I told that story. We really don't know. We really, really don't know. I have my own thoughts on it privately, but I won't say it because I just don't want to stir up a hornet's nest. Now, I'm going to wrap this up. The reason why I am, I guess, sticking my nose into it, but maybe I'm really not sticking my nose into it. When I came back to YouTube, it was very different than when I left it. And I saw a whole chat where they were just mocking me, and someone was mocking me about, like, maybe grooming choices, my hair, blah, 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 blah. And I believed this person that was mocking me to be an older woman. And eventually, when I was on a cruise and had a few drinks, I mocked them back. I felt like, well, they said it about me. How about I say it about them? And I own that. I can't really say that I'm apologizing for it because I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have initiated it. It was in response to what was done to me. But I don't really want to start, like, pointing fingers and blaming, and because where does it go? It goes nowhere. So I'll just say that I own what I said, as we all should, and we all should own what we do, but, not all of us can do that. I'm not trying to say I'm better than anyone. I'm just trying to say that I own what I did, but I can't really apologize because it was in response to I regret. Yes, I regret a lot of things, but I can't take it back. And I'm not going to pretend that I didn't say what I said or I didn't do what I did, because I did do it and I did say it. I own what I say and what I did. I do not own what other people say, what other people do, or if somebody lied or did a clone account or a sock account and said certain things or did certain things. I'm not responsible for what other people do. And I'm looking, I just don't want to leave anything out. I don't think that either the giver or receiver of love should be ashamed of their feelings, because it's two souls reaching out to each other during a trying time, and it shows that both people were natural in wanting to love and be loved. It just didn't work out. I just hope that the people that got hurt by this don't spend time grieving and regretting like I did in the past over 20 years ago, and that you both move on into something real and satisfying and fulfilling. And don't beat yourself up. Don't beat each other up. just be glad that you had that experience and that you learned from it, and go on, go in peace. I hope I can do the same, It goes for me. Anything I say to other people goes for me as well, I have to do my own thing. And, but like I said, in the past, when I was hurting, other people stepped up and tried to help me, and I hope to return that favor. And, I guess I have a different spin on life. I want to cry. Seeing people die prematurely that were good people, seeing somebody ill that was a good person, it really makes you think about your own life and how I want to live the rest of my time, and how I want to end, when the time comes, how I want it to end, in a peaceful manner. So everybody, God, just tell someone today how much you love them. Because, tomorrow isn't promised. It really isn't. So everybody, have a great day and be careful. Bye.